Hungary has a national language. China, Japan. Why do they get a national language and we don't?
Because they're based on different values than the U.S. was.
Maybe.
The U.S. was founded on freedom.
This weird debate on, oh, we shouldn't have a national language, where everyone can do whatever they... Come on, bro.
You don't want any immigrants speaking other languages, or you just want
No, I want the government to have an official language of the U.S. Our documents are written in English.
So what's the issue with there not being an official?
Because a nation of foreigners is not a nation, it's a colony. You're foreign to one another.
Well, that kind of goes against capitalist ideas, though.
Why?
That's all diverse.
First, to just start this video, I don't even understand the issue of having an official language. Let's start there. How is this even a debate topic? Why can't a nation have an official language? How does this automatically mean he doesn't want foreigners speaking another language? That line of thinking, that logic, it really doesn't even make sense to me. And let's be honest, it doesn't make sense to you either. Just because a place has an official language doesn't mean you can't speak any other language. I don't even understand how he pulled. That's like a half-court shot. That logic was crazy. But basically, this student is trying to argue versus Charlie Kirk about should America have an official language? Should English specifically be America's official language? So let's see how this goes.
Capitalist society, you want a free market with free choices.
Yeah, but the best ideas win. So the diversity is not the strength. The excellence is the strength.
Well, the diversity is the platform for the strength.
So diversity is a temporary condition to eventually get to excellence.
So they're talking about diversity now. Now it goes into diversity of languages. My thing is, this whole discussion is just, it doesn't make sense to me, because just because there's diversity of languages does not mean there cannot be an official language. Imagine you're in school and a teacher suggests, or the school says the official pencil of the school is number 2 Dixon pencils. I think that's the brand of pencils, Dixon pencils. That does not mean that you cannot use other brands of pencils. Or the NBA says our official sponsor is Nike. That does not mean the players can't wear Adidas. It's just what type of debate is this?
To eventually get to excellence, right?
I guess temporary.
Because if you have really bad food poison food and really good food, the good food is going to win out. So it's not the diversity of food, it's the competition of it.
Well, I mean, sure.
Yes. If you have a football team and everyone's calling their own plays, diversity is not the strength of the football team.
Well, that's a lack of leadership and systematic institutions.
I agree. So the question is, what is a country? Is a country a set of laws, traditions, and customs, or is it just a bunch of random people living?
It's a group of people with an established system that share collective ideas and
language.
identity.
And language.
It doesn't have to be language.
Well, language is how we communicate values.
We can communicate in other ways.
How?
Google Translate. We can talk in different
Yeah,
languages.
that's a little sloppy. So Switzerland has a national language, right? Hungary has a national language. China, Japan. Why do they get a national language and we don't?
Because they're based on different values than the U.S. was.
Maybe.
The U.S. was founded on freedom.
Hold on.
And even still, when you talk about language and how a country is made up, and the problem I have, let's start here. The problem I have is that these young students nitpick what they want out of America. They say a country is a thing of shared values or shared experiences, but when it comes to language, it's not shared languages, but we share everything else. We share the privileges, but we just don't share the language. Whatever, even if you don't speak English. The reason I'm bringing this up is because even if you don't speak English here, if you do speak English and you go to an institute or you go to a restaurant or you go anywhere and English is not spoken there, you will genuinely be shocked. You will genuinely feel entitled to that place having an English menu there or having a person who can speak English there. And that's why having English be the official language of the United States, it's not a crazy argument. It's kind of common sense, because even if you pretend you don't believe it should be, no matter where you go in this country, if you don't speak English, if you speak English, you're just going to automatically assume people there speak English. Same thing if you go to Switzerland, if you are speaking their national language, you're just going to assume everywhere you go is going to speak that language. So this weird debate on, we shouldn't have a national language, where everyone can do whatever they... Come on, bro. Let's be honest.
Play the liberal part of our founding. There was a liberal part of our founding and a conservative part of our founding. And we have forgotten the conservative part. The conservative part about preservation, separation of powers, and preserving a republic. The liberal parts are the Enlightenment, speech, advancement, and that's part of it. But we've completely rewritten our history. It says in the Declaration of Independence, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands that have tied them to another, deriving from the separate equal station of power, the laws of nature and nature's God. The founding fathers were saying that there's a natural law that governs our entire existence. There has to be something that slows down progress for progress' sake.
So you don't think that our society could run efficiently and well if there's not a national language?
No, it's just harder. It's not an impediment. It's just stupid not to do. It's not like a deal breaker. It's just why not do it? It's hurting us. It's unnecessarily hurting us.
And that's what I'm saying. It's just a stupid discussion. Why not do it? And the thing is, people already kind of do it. If you speak English in America, you just expect places you go to speak English. Not saying other languages are spoken. I hope nobody's getting that from my message. But you just expect everywhere you go to speak English. And that's the expectation here. So it's kind of already the national language. It's the number one spoken language by far. But anyways, if you have any suggestions for me, comment down below.